And what is going on, everybody? Welcome to FSP. This is episode number geez, what are we at again? 123, 123. That's easy to remember. How could I have
Yep.
forgotten that? Yeah, 123. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is going to be a very special episode because it's kind of like an annual thing. Um, the annual show where we get to crap all over the nominations for the Game Awards. This is
Yeah.
something we look forward to every single year. And this year, there's extra special reasons to do so because shit don't make sense sometimes. But other than that, there's also other things to talk about. We got some great games coming out this week, as we'll see on Tidbits later on. And as always, we're joined by the very um, amazing, talented podcaster extraordinaire, Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzz?
What's up, everyone? Glad to be here. Man, Keely did it. I guess he warned us and he went and did it. And yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely get into it, but there is just some awesome stuff coming out this week. Looking forward to a couple of those games. It's going to get hectic. Clear your backlog in advance. That's all I can say. But man, great to be here with you guys. What's up to everybody in the chat? Thanks for being here.
Right on, man. Appreciate you as always, Fuzz. We also have another talented man here sitting in the chair right there. The one and only 3-Bit. What's up, 3-Bit? How's it going?
Hello, Mav. How's the weather in that window? Is it up here, over there? Like,
Yeah,
hi.
the weather
It's pretty
here
good.
is, yeah, outside it's been a little gloomy today. We had some
Mhm.
strong winds and some early morning storms, and it's
Yeah.
been kind of wet outside. But other than that, it's not too bad.
Not too shabby. Not
Yeah.
too shabby. That's good.
How's the weather
Um,
in your square?
it's a little blue.
Yeah,
I'm down here. I feel like I'm lifting you guys up. I'm like,
you always lift us up before you cause a major catastrophe and tear us both
yeah,
back
yeah.
down.
But it makes for a more interesting plot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, I briefly saw some stuff about the nominees, and I was just like, that's all I thought. I didn't see like the full announcement of like the individual categories, so it's gonna be kind
Yeah,
of fun to go over in the show. But yeah, it's gonna be what Psycho said in the chat, the DLC awards, and we're just gonna have to stick along for the ride, I guess.
yeah.
So
Hey,
glad to be here, everybody in the chat. Hello, everyone. It's gonna be a good episode. 1, 2, 3. Here we
yeah,
go.
man. Something else I noticed after the nominations were announced was people like Ryan McCaffrey and there's other people out there that were all like, "Wow, what a horrible year 2024 was for gaming." After seeing the game of the year nominations, and I'm like,
Or it's the year that you decided to nominate these games.
like, yeah, like I overall, I think 2024 had some amazing games in genres that a lot of the games media don't care about.
Yep. This is my problem. My
Ultimately,
problem with the
right?
game awards every single year is like last year was pretty bad because like that was a year with a ton of great games, and then it was just basically sequel year is what I call last year. But I mean, a lot of those were good games, so I can't fault them for it. Like Baldur's Gate 3 was fantastic. You had Alan Wake 2. Then you had another Mario Wonder game. I forgot what some of the other ones was, but every other game was like a sequel or something like that. This year, it's kind of what we expected them to do. I was hoping they would surprise me. There's a little thing inside of me. I was like, maybe, just maybe. But no, I should have known when they announced the DLC thing. On our show yesterday, which we kind of called out. They were like, we were basically saying on the show yesterday on PXE that as soon as they announce that, they're not just going to announce that and not do it. They're announcing it to prepare people that they're going to do it. Otherwise, why announce it? So yeah, it is what it is. We'll get into Keely shenanigans. I know people say it's not Keely, but really, it feels Keely.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the jury. We if you look on the page, it's like it's a ton of like IGN type sites that they own a couple different journalistic just like different people like Eurogamer and things like that are on the board. So that's not super surprising, but it is frustrating sometimes when you have these people represent the overall gaming community, and it feels like a lot of these people just what's the most popular game? They every single year is like third party or third person like action adventure type games or something like that, and everything else gets kind of shunned to the point where this year they're like, "Ooh, well, I still want to add in the third person action adventure game. Let's create a whole different category for it." So very interesting. We'll get into it for sure. But yeah, glad to be here.
Right on, man. Well, I was trying to think about how to do this because there's quite a few like nominees and stuff, and I the fan vote counts for like a small percentage of each thing or whatever, and everybody has the opportunity to do so. But I figured, hey, why don't we just cast our vote live here on the show while we're going through the nominees,
Yeah.
right? So I'll share my screen, and then we can have a conversation amongst us, and we can fully submit our really doesn't count for shit, but our fun speculation vote for the game awards and get some feedback from the chat on some of these categories and nominations as well. So it could be kind of fun to do here. So that's what we're gonna do. Um, we got the game awards right here. Here we go. Oh, I like the other screen better. Which one's better? This one? Let's go with this one. That one will
Yeah.
work. Okay. All right. So I think some of the categories are probably okay, but we'll go through and like I said, our annual let's shit on the game awards and talk crap about the categories and how they do things.
One
Alvin,
positive I'll
yeah,
say I
go ahead.
really like. Sorry, one positive I always like the lady award thing, like the actual award logo. Like she's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good trophy.
Yeah,
It's a good
good
trophy.
trophy. Yeah,
Good design there. Alvin hit us with a $5 super chat that says Black Myth is a 76 on Meta on PlayStation and an 81 on PC. I never want to hear Meta used as a metric to exclude a game again. Several games this year score higher. Yeah, there's definitely some snubs. We'll get into it. But yeah, let's get started with our votes, guys. All right. I appreciate the super chat, Alvin. You rock. All right, nominees. Let's go. Let's start voting.
Yep.
Start voting.
Do this live.
I mean, I almost want to do this backwards, but that's not what it does. So we will start with game of the year. Go through these categories. Game of the year for the Game Awards. Now, picked by a jury of games media. There is actually, you can see all the sites and everything across the world that are part of the conglomerate of jurists out there that determine these things. Let's go through these. Astrobot, I think we can all assume that we knew that this was going to be there. It's a very highly praised game. It's a platformer on PlayStation. Was this their lone big actual first party studio game this year? Or was there another one? I can't remember. Oh, they had Silent Hill 2, they had Stellar Blade, they had
from their own studios, that was it. Other than MLB, but that's
the show.
multi-plat now. So yeah.
MLB the show and then Astrobot. Yeah.
Silent Hill 2, Stellar Blade. I feel like I'm missing one.
I mean, Silent Hill 2
There was probably a remake. Well, there's the
Rise
remasters
of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah, Rise of Ronin was
Yeah.
another one, but for first party, there was some remasters as expected.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised those aren't here. Astrobot. Yeah, we all saw that coming, so no surprise there. Now this one is interesting. Now we usually every year there's like an indie candidate. I've seen some people being like Bellagio, really Bellagio. I
It
love
was
Balatro.
it
So
was
for
either going to
me,
be that or Animal Well, or
yeah,
Animal Well.
Mhm.
it was like a flip of the coin which one for me was going to be there. I think people look at this game and be like, how could that be a candidate for game of the year? Because it's like cards, you know.
Hmm.
But for me, this one, like, I probably played Balatro this year as much as any other game, because it is just a really well made, addicting game to play. Um, I even got Kate hooked on it for a while, so I have no issues with this. And any contrast to me, anybody have an issue with Balatro being here?
Nah.
Fuzzy,
No,
3-bit.
I had a feeling like, like you said, like one indie game would be there. It was between those two. So
Yeah.
yeah, heard a lot of good things about Balatro, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Right, like last year, Dave the Diver, was a candidate, and it's not indie game technically, but it's like filling that kind of role, right? This is one that, as Alvin said, has a lot of criticism with it. Black Myth Wukong, right? It's an extremely popular game, and it's loved by many, but it's definitely also not universally thought of as like a achieved excellence across the board kind of game as well. Where there are some games in different genres and different categories that maybe could have fit here better. I could make an argument that Tekken 8 would have been a better choice in this spot. I could have made an argument that Unicorn Overlord could have been better here, especially Dragon's Dogma 2
Yeah.
could have been better
Yeah, I
here.
thought Dragon's Dogma, being that it was a higher rated game, um, would have replaced Black Myth, but
Yeah. But I mean, ratings, like Alan said, obviously don't matter for the Game Awards, right? Quality is out the window at this point.
it's
So,
feeling.
if anybody ever says an Xbox game can't be there because it's like an 83, I'll say, well, you know, um, now this one, this one is the one, right? Now we called it, right? When we saw the post that kind of went around everywhere the other day about, well, they're allowing DLC and expansions and seasons and everything for any category. It's up in the air now, right? And purposefully added that to the site. And I had said there's a reason they did that, and because they knew what's coming, they're getting ahead of it. They didn't want to explain to everybody after the fact, so they do it ahead of time. That expansions can now be considered a full game, I guess, for game of the year. I've seen some make a case for it that it's big enough, it's stands on its own enough and all these kind of things. I personally have an issue with this because I think it opens up a can of worms. But that's Shadow of Erdtree, Elden Ring, Shadow of Erdtree, which Elden Ring actually won Game of the Year 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And this is the expansion for it that now could win Game of the Year. This would be like if Cyberpunk's DLC expansion that was actually nominated for Game of the Year instead of Best Ongoing Game. We had issues with that, but this is like actual full Game of the Year nomination. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a poll in the chat, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on this specifically. 3-bit, should an expansion be considered?
Hmm. So I'm in the I remember when we were talking about this last year, I got some tomatoes thrown at me because I was saying like that I think remakes should be considered for game of the year. Um, so I'm on record saying that. However, um, w- I don't. At the same time, with this jury, just the way they tend to handle things, I don't think it should replace. It basically is replacing games that probably should have been here instead. Which is why I think it should just be its own category. And I'm talking about like remakes now. DLC um, being nominated is just very interesting. I don't think it should be. Um, just because I don't really trust the jury to discern at this point of what should be in these categories, having stuff like Cyberpunk and ongoing game and stuff like that. That's why I like, even if you're like, okay, this is like its own experience, is like a brand new game almost. With this jury, with this board, I couldn't trust them to understand half of the gaming industry, let alone put a game like this up. So no, it shouldn't be up, but not for the reasons that um like it shouldn't be up, not just because like, oh, I don't think DLC should be up on the thing. I think it should be able to be nominated. I just don't trust the jury in their process. So it like at this point it knocks off games that actually should have probably been up here. So in that case, yeah, I mean that's kind of my view on it. Like I just think there's a lot of games this year that probably should have been here. I don't think Black Myth should have been there. We kind of all knew Astrobot was going to be here. I know like people have been talking like Stalker 2, but I guess it's not out for a lot of people yet. This is the conversation. So yeah, I don't think it should have been nominated. But like Alvin said in chat, like a lot of people thought it was one of the best pieces of content released in the year. So I think with DLCs becoming more prevalent, this should have just been a category just to avoid all of this. Yeah, it's definitely tricky. Yeah, like what E-Rank says, should be recognized and awarded, but I don't know about being in the game of the year category, because it really is unfortunate, because it does in a way it kind of kicks out some games that are full blown games that have been years in development, and a lot of people have thought about, and like, oh yeah, this could be a good game, and then you have a game where it's already there, the base is there, and you're just expanding upon that base, even if it's really good or whatever. It just gets into a tricky territory. So I don't think this should be there, no matter how good it really was, just because I don't trust the jury. Not that I don't think it DLCs or remakes can be nominated for game of the year, but I just, their process sucks so bad. The people that are on the board, like Eurogamer and stuff like that, the amount of games like the audience and what they usually cater to is like, it's actually really funny that they made a whole new rule basically just for this game. Like, it just showed you that they're not playing a lot of these games out here, like, and
I
having
think
journalists.
I think the problem is that he doesn't actually have any guidelines or rules. And so when these votes come in from the journalist, he's like, "Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to put something on the website that just says this is allowed."
Yeah, like how many times have you seen oh, David Diver isn't technically an indie game. He's like, oh, well, it feels like an indie game, you know. Cyberpunk, oh, it's the best ongoing game. It's not really an ongoing game. Like, it feels like it. Like the rules are so lax, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It again, it just feels like they're not really into the gaming industry space, or representative of what gamers actually play. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure great game, but it shouldn't have been here, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about you, Fuzz? Thoughts on Shadow of the Erd Tree getting a nomination as an expansion for Game of the Year?
Yeah, about that. I know there are people who are like, "Oh, is it a game you can play?" But I look at it a little bit different. Like DLC expansions that are not standalone. Like if it was a spinoff, like if they had turned Erdtree into a spinoff where you didn't need to own the previous game that won Game of the Year to be able to play it, I'd be all for it being nominated. Standalone, no problem. But much like people like to say, like with Witcher 3, was it the Blood and Wine or something expansion was awesome. And the same thing with their, was it Paradise City or Paradise Night or whatever for Cyberpunk, or Liberty City or something.
Phantom Liberty, I
Mhm.
think.
Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
all over the place. That those were great expansions. I feel that that should be an actual category, not put an expansion for a game as the nominee for it. Like it just feels wrong. It would be like I can't even. I'm like I always go to cars as like giving it like an equivalent type of thing, which you can have a 2025 win 2025 car of the year, and you can have a 2026 win 2026 car of the year. But that would be like, hey, you put new tires on your car. Hey, that should be considered for a car of the year for the following year, but it's the last year. No, that's how I see it, and it just feels like it's a mockery of what an actual game is. Like DLC is an expansion or continuation of that original game. If you release it a year later, sucks to be you if you want to be considered for that new year. That's how it should be. At least in my eyes. Like it's great that it's an enjoyable game. It was well received, just like the original game itself, but it's not its own game. It's not something that you can buy off a shelf without already owning the other game. Now, if they wanted to re-release the game with that, but then again, you would have to charge for the new game edition plus the original game. Maybe that should be considered, but I don't think people would be happy in having to rebuy the game. But for award ceremonies, I feel it's lazy not to create a new category when clearly there are enough expansions and DLCs out there to fulfill that category, to have 5 or 6 or maybe even more candidates that are worthy of that, and not take away from an actual newly released game that's independent in itself. I mean, it can be a sequel, it can even be a remake. I'm fine with remakes. Remasters, different story. I don't feel remasters should be included in any way, shape, or form, because then you're going into that gray area where player mods should be included. Like a player mod can make a game look amazingly better than its original thing, and that's kind of what remasters go for, is more of a visual improvement, but the story remains the same, the characters remain the same, the movement remains the same. Or a remake, usually some of those components are redone from the ground up or from scratch or whatever you want to call it. And I can agree that a remake should be within the consideration. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but then again, we don't necessarily get enough remakes in a year. There might be 2 or 3, and that would be, you're almost guaranteed to win something at that point if there's only a couple of them. But in the grand scheme of things, I think remakes should be considered. DLCs, expansions should not. If expansions should be considered, considering the player count and popularity of how it reinvigorated the player base for a game, I would say, then why the hell wasn't Vessel of Hatred nominated?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm much like I don't pay attention to like some of the movie and music award ceremonies and things along those lines. I'm probably going to start tuning this out and pay more attention to what I would consider or respect as actual award shows like BAFTA or the joysticks or something along those lines. Like this is, while it's trying to have this legitimate appearance, it just goes against what those categories or should be defined as. And even if we don't want to agree on how they should be defined, there should be some basic ground rules as far as a game. Like you can't tell me a game that was as popular as, Forza Horizon 5 when it was released can't be considered for a game of the year category, I guess, because you don't particularly care for it. Oh, it's too niche, but yet 40 million people are playing it, which, if I'm not mistaken, is probably more than Erdtree. Is as great as that game sold, but that's nor here nor there. Let's go ahead and change the rules because I enjoy this particular game and it's my show. So fuck calling the thing the Game Awards, just call it the Keeleys and be done with it. Like if you're going to change the rules based on how you feel, then put your name on it. Don't plaster it as if it's an actual Game Awards ceremony, because you're not going to follow any particular distinction of what a game is when DLC is not a game. It's a continuation of a game. But I don't know. I've rambled enough. I just, that's my 2 cents on it. It's a I wouldn't say it's a tragedy, because it's not that serious. It's still gaming at the end of the day, but it just feels like it's like, what's a game anyway? Like, who are we to say a game? Oh, the game crashed on you. Well, that must be a feature nowadays, because who cares about rules or understanding of what it takes to make a game or what a game should be? I don't know. It just feels like we're going off the rails for no particular reason other than I have a bias and this is what we're going to do moving forward.
Well, it's
Plain and simple.
interesting too. Like, obviously, this game has been shown many times at the Game Awards when it was originally revealed, and then also numerous times after that. And then, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Shadow of Erdtree was even potentially shown at a Keighley show for the first time. I can't remember. But also, you have a future stake with these companies and all these other kind of things. It kind of shows like a little bit of potential interest there for self gain for Keighley, but also the main issue is that I think there just are no. I think it's just like there's no actual deep thought process into actually how to create a legitimate award show as far as actually taking things seriously, uh that separates things into proper categories and genres and everything. Like, even the mere fact that they added that, saying all those things can be considered for any category, it's it's kind of a slap in the face, because like if you are somebody that made a brand new IP or brand new game, you could have just the most popular game that's been going for years take your spot every year, right? Like, it opens up a bad precedent with this. Um so the only way to really fix it is if they actually do have rules and guidelines and things like that, which they don't ever really seem to have place. It seems like they just kind of shape it based on what all these games media people just put on their list, you know? Like remember last year, there was actually an esports coach that got nominated for esports coach of the year, and he didn't even coach that year.
Goes
So
to show what the judges, how much they pay attention to the industry that they're supposed to be a part of.
well, I mean, the pure thing is like they never should have been even eligible to be voted for,
Right.
right? So the fact, I think it's just like, hey, whatever you want to put, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. And I think they put the thing on the website the other day because they knew that Shadow of Erdtree was nominated, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna be asked a lot about this, so I better put something on the website now to go ahead and get ahead of this thing." And I just don't think they take seriously the awards aspect, because the awards were always just a draw to get people there in the first place so they could have the advertising and the marketing and the game reveals and all those other kind of things, right? And it's a big deal to the people that win these things, but there's a couple things that's never going to be taken seriously if you're not putting it in the proper time of year. First off, when numerous big games are automatically disqualified just based on timing of release, right? And they say, "Oh, those will be eligible next year." They never get attention the following year. Nobody ever thinks of last year's November and December releases for consideration of the next year's game in the Game Awards, right? It's just something that never happens. So that's something that needs to be fixed first off, because big games come out every November and December the last several years. So if you're automatically just counting out games just based on timing, what's the point? You know what I mean? So that's an issue. Besides that, actually not having any rules or like any kind of like list of like these games fit in this category or any kind of thing or anything like that, it just makes everything kind of, well, what's the point? And I want the Game Awards to actually mean something,
Yeah.
because it does get a lot of eyes. It's good for the industry overall, right? But if they just change those couple things, it could be legitimate. but right now it's not. What's up, Psycho?
What's up? I I got off work and then I was listening to you guys. And I'm like, oh, this is the one I need to be in because this is some fucking bullshit.
We're about to move on from this one, but what do you think about Erd Tree and expansions being allowed?
It shouldn't. At the end of the day, it is not a new game. You can't have game of the year of a game that is adding on content to a game that was game of the year, and I guarantee that's one of the reasons why it's even in here, because it won 2 years ago. And for that fact alone, it just shouldn't. I mean, there's so many games. Literally in what 2 days, we're getting Stalker 2.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all couldn't wait just 2 days to see if this game is better and have that in this lineup.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
well,
why the December thing will never work
no,
out.
you got to do it like into January, early February. That's when it works. No other time would really work. That's when it would. And until they do that, it's always going to be like this.
And I don't know what Baltro is. I'm guessing that's some kind of indie game.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love that game.
But I mean, there's like right now, like Unicorn Overlord should definitely be in this because it was a phenomenal game. It did very, very well. And it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, and there's just so many other games out there. Like, where's Dragon Dogma 2? Why is this not here? Why is Astrobot in place of Dragon's Dogma?
I think we all knew Astrobot.
Because PlayStation.
But like Black Myth Wukong and then I think the Shadowbird Tree are the two that are just really kind of that's kind of strange. I understand the popularity of Black Myth and I understand some technical achievements and stuff with it, but like as far as actual quality wise and what the game, how it was received overall, and this is the mark of what you would generally consider for a game of the year.
Yeah, and did well on PC. It a lot of the performances issues that I've heard were a lot of the was resolution, and PC had their issues, but majority of it was also on PlayStation. But if you look at this fucking games of the year, you got 1, 2, 3 PlayStation exclusives. You have Black Myth, Final Fantasy VII, and Astrobot. It's just like it's a year of where PlayStation has not put out much of anything. And isn't this Astrobot tied in with the PS5 Pro when you buy it?
No.
No? Okay.
It's a standalone game.
I thought it was a part of the PS5 Pro.
Man, you should know that, man. You work at GameStop. You trying to sell people your Astrobots with the PS5 Pros?
No, I don't have Astrobot.
No, it's a standalone, man. You just like you just go and buy it. It's like things like 50, 60.
The first one was linked, like it came with
Astro's Playroom was like a game that came with the phone.
So this technically is DLC too.
No, it's Astrobot. Like Astrobot reviewed well. The people that play it like love it. I have no issue with Astrobot being there this year.
No.
Like Blatro, either Blatro and Animal Well. Usually there's an indie that's taking the spot, right? Either way it'd be fine. Black Myth, whatever. I'm not going to raise too much of a hell about that, but I could easily pick numerous games that deserve a spot more than that. Shadow of Erd Tree just doesn't fit the criteria of what should be considered for a game of the year based on the fact that it doesn't actually fit into the category as a game in and of itself, right? Yeah. So you have to have other content. You have to do things to be able to access it. Like it's just not that, right? They need to add more categories and fix the categories that do exist.
Yeah. If I was game science, go ahead. Say it.
I was going to say DLC remastered games should be its own category.
Well, they have ongoing, but then that's like doesn't make sense either, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But like a Phantom Liberty won that last year, but then Strat of Erdtree's not in it this year, but it's in the Game of the Year candidate.
Because
But
they
then
just
also
wanted Elden Ring to be in there because clearly
Yeah.
last year had a lot of good DLC
Um,
that probably could have made the
there's
Game
just-
of the Year.
There's just no guidelines. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's just like, hey, whatever they say is what we go with. We're just the Game Awards. We don't put any pressure on anybody for anything. It's just what the games media said. Like, you got to have some kind of criteria here, people.
Well,
you know,
well, the only thing that seems to be criteria is that it's in that calendar year, but that should only seem to take place for the game, quote unquote, game of the year. So if we're just going to throw caution to the wind, if I made a game 5 years ago and they now feel that the actor or actresses that participated in the voice acting or whatever did a great job, they should be able to be nominated this year as well. Like, the only category that has the year specific is Game of the Year. So if we're going to, like, we're not doing rules, rules be damned. Like, just make every game eligible for everything except for Game of the Year. The only criteria is that it was playable in that year, because that seems to be the direction that they're going.
but not even, because they cut off like a month and a half of the year.
True.
So Alvin, member for 29 months, says Nintendo snubbed, Earth is Healing. Yeah, Nintendo, nothing
Yeah.
there.
I'm surprised. There's there's the Legend of Zelda Echo, whatever. There, what else they had? The Mario Party Jamboree, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I mean, they had a
Those were
lot
only in
of
the
games.
80s.
Wasn't it fucking Black Myth in the 80s?
Yeah,
It was 76 on PlayStation and 81 on 81 on PC.
So
but
what
it was exclusive to PlayStation and PC.
the fuck?
Temporarily.
Then why is Hellblade not here then?
I think we'll probably get a Black Myth Wukong release date for Xbox at the Game Awards. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know, if I was game science, I'm like, ooh, we got Game of the Year. Cool. Like, let's do a DLC next year. Make sure I get in that category again.
Yeah, do it again. Yeah.
Like that's how broken it could end up being. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine if all the categories were just DLC.
If every game's expansion was, well, that's what they
They're
said.
not going to
It's
do
like,
that, but
it's up
like
in the air now.
Damn
you
it!
know?
Why wasn't Shattered Space considered?
Well, I mean, you could have considered Vessel of Hatred. It did really well, really reviewed
Vessel
well.
of
If that's up
Hatred.
for grabs. It definitely would deserve it over something like Black Myth, right? Anyway, moving on. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. No surprise there. No objections for me or whatever. It was very well received, highly praised game.
it can stay.
And Metaphor Refantasio,
I
which
hope this
was
takes it all.
loved by many and highly praised. And so my vote goes for Metaphor. What say you, Fuzzy?
Honestly, just because of what interests me the most, my vote would go for Black Myth Wukong. I haven't played it yet, but
Okay.
I will be playing it early next year.
3-bit. What say you? What's your vote?
There's only 2 games I'm interested in playing on this list, and it's Astrobot and Metaphor, to be honest with you. I could make fun of Astrobot, whatever, but it's still like the first one was like a really fun game for me. So it's probably going to go to Metaphor though, in terms of like that team and how much I like enjoyed their previous titles and stuff like that. So I could see my vote leaning to Metaphor more so. So I have a feeling Astrobot is going to win the overall thing, but I hope that Metaphor sweeps.
Fair enough. I'm trying to. There you go. I think that looks better. All right. So, Psycho. Yeah, I think I heard you say Metaphor.
Oh, fucking Metaphor all day.
Yeah. Okay. My vote's Metaphor also. So we got 3 out of 4 here for Metaphor. Let's go to the next category.
The official Fun Speculation Game Awards nominations.
Best game direction. Well, this is
look at that.
Same
this
list.
Is the same list, right?
So,
Okay. So This is usually given to the runner-up, kind of.
Stalker 2.
Stalker who?
What do y'all think? Y'all want to stick with what we all?
Game direction. I'm guessing that's like art direction and stuff like that.
It says awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Okay, so maybe
Metaphor.
Balatro, just from what I've seen. That's my vote. It just looks
Okay.
interesting, like the art style and everything. I feel like that would be my vote. If it's talking about like art direction and stuff like that, like in terms of like how it innovated in its aesthetic, I just maybe
Yeah.
Balatro for me.
But you, Fuzz.
I give it to Black Myth Wukong again. Like, I wish I was into turn-based more, because Metaphor definitely is deserving of one of the two, either this or Game of the Year, but give it to Black Myth again.
Yeah. Brandon Martin says, I'm very happy that my team and friends are getting noticed with all their hard work with Black Ops 6 at the Game Awards, and also go Eagles. Shout out to
Go
Brandon.
who?
Appreciate Eagles. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you being here as always, dude.
It's actually one second. It's actually very interesting. Like a game like Black Ops 6 could sell the most copies on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, whatever. Eventually Nintendo. And they'll be like, yeah, but it'll never make these type of category. I just think it's interesting.
I mean, honestly, like out of this list, Black Ops 6 would probably have my vote or right behind Metaphor for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Like
I can see
I
it.
mean, it's that good. But like we said before, Call of Duty doesn't get any consideration. Even though if you ask the communities out there, should a game like Call of Duty get consideration for Game of the Year? Everybody says yes. It's a game. It's a complete game, right? Like it's a full ass.
It's like
game
never
that has
artsy enough.
Multiplayer
content
and campaign.
really
Yeah.
well made and all these other kind of things, but like it just doesn't even get the thought. Like games media does not even consider it, right? And you'll see that as we go through the categories. It's absolutely crazy. And yeah, it's a good point, Brandon. That's a poll I actually had on Twitter. You know, should a game like Call of Duty be considered for Game of the Year? And you know, overwhelmingly yes. But no, it's not even a thought process in games media. So
So I
on
said
this,
Balatro, Fuzzy
you
said Black Myth.
Black Myth. Are you sticking with Metaphor Psycho on this one as well?
Yeah, I jumped the gun. I went first. I screamed.
Oh, okay, yeah. My bad. So yeah, I'll stick. I mean, I see where 3-bits come from, Balatro, because like for what it says, outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Like the thing about Balatro, it is very like innovative with it, because like they're taking like roguelite mechanics to a straight up like poker based card game. It's super addicting.
This is about how you innovate, right? Like
Yeah. I never played anything like it, and it kind of created something within a genre, but twisted it on its head and made something completely new. So for that, I would maybe actually, because like games like Metaphor I've played before, right? So we're talking about innovation. Astrobot basically takes from all the different platformers and puts it into one, right? Black Myth Wukong, I've played games that seem similar to that. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, it's not innovating anything. Elden Ring Shadow Anniversary, it's like a little expansion to a fucking game that already exists. So no, it's not innovating anything in and of itself. I
watch it win though.
So watch it win every.
So we have one for Metaphor Psycho, right?
Yep.
Fuzzy was on
Black Myth.
Black Myth, and then you said Balatro 3-bit.
Yeah.
I'm rolling 3-bit. We're gonna vote Balatro here for best game direction.
Let's go 2.
All right. Best narrative. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Haven't played it, so I can't judge it, but I don't have any issues with being here. I Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I got a question about Silent Hill 2. Is the story any different? Has anybody played it? Did they change the story? Or is it the same narrative?
From what I've seen, it's the same, but they made some slight changes here and there.
Somebody in the chat help me out there. Is it like is it following the exact same storyline? I just have the question for somebody that's played through it and was a Silent Hill 2 super fan and would know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Because if it's just copy and paste story, it wouldn't fit. If it's a new take on the story, then completely it would work. My vote for this is Hellblade 2. Mainly because I finished it and I thought the narrative and the playthrough was meaningful and it stood on its own as a hell of experience. I haven't finished Metaphor yet. That would probably be my uh, runner
Yeah.
up or right there if I had to pick one right now. But the narrative's really good there as well. But I'll stick with Hellblade 2. What about you?
Oh,
folks?
Brandon said they added more to the story.
They added more to the story. Fair enough then. Fair enough. Fuzzy, best narrative.
This is my bias showing, but I'll go with Hellblade.
Okay.
I haven't played Metaphor, so I can't speak on Metaphor. So.
Yeah, I hear you. It's hard sometimes. These are here and like, oh, I know it's acknowledged as a great game, but I can't really say much about what the narrative. 3-bit. What about you?
This is a really hard one for me. Just because I love Hellblade's story and the direction they went, but just the themes they put in Metaphor are just really interesting. Yeah.
It's between those two for me. It's a hard decision.
Yeah, it's between the two for me. I never really cared about Final Fantasy's story. It's always been kind of convoluted. Like a Dragon, like if you guys have played the Yakuza games, each Yakuza game is like a different story, but it's like a similar plot.
And they always have great stories.
Yeah,
they do have them. Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. So I was actually looking at Yakuza's Way a little bit, but really just dialing down to the two. This is hard between Hellblade and Metaphor. I'm gonna just say I've played Hellblade a little bit more. I play a little bit of Metaphor on just a little bit, not enough to I haven't played like hours and hours of Metaphor. So I'm just gonna go Hellblade's Way just because I played it a little bit more. But from what I've seen in Metaphor in terms of like the themes and stuff, the stories that is actually going into, it gets pretty deep. So I actually do really like that. But yeah, I really like the way they handled Senua's story in Hellblade 2 as well. So I'll go with Hellblade.
Right on. What about you, Psycho?
Yeah, this is very difficult because it's up between Hellblade 2 and Metaphor for me. Both tell a great story. But Metaphor edges it out just a little bit because it's a new IP. It's a new story from Atlas, and that's it. Just barely squeaks by. So I have to go with Metaphor again.
Yeah, I feel that.
So Metaphor, we got Hellblade 2, and Hellblade 2. I think like it's interesting. You could look at there's potential snubs here, but I don't think there's a lot of people would have any issues necessarily with the list here as well. But, like I would throw Space Marine 2's hat in the ring because like, hey, that actually has a great story and like it's deep lore and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, Stalker 2 might be here too if they waited 2 days.
Unicorn Overlord, like is crazy big story as well. There's a lot of things you could pick, and it's hard to fit 5 games into a category like this. But our vote goes to Hellblade 2. Yay! Let's go on to the next one.
Did they do fans' choice, or are they gonna wait later?
I don't know.
I think that comes later. There's like 3 phases, I think.
Oh yeah.
Man, same fucking games. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Best,
Come on.
I mean, one different one here, but best art direction:
Never.
Astrobot, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Metaphor, Refantasio, or Neva. I know this one 100% for me is Metaphor.
For outstanding creative and or technical achievement, artistic design and animation. Yeah, probably Metaphor again.
Yeah, that shit's all hand drawn.
Yeah, Metaphor has like really cool, like especially when you attack people, like I like the patterns and stuff like that. I was thinking like Astrobot is really smooth and stuff, so I was thinking about like how smooth the experience is and your controller and stuff like that.
That has everything to do with art direction.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, yeah, so maybe just Metaphor. I haven't seen a lot of Erdtree, to be fair. Like
it looks like Elden Ring.
It's just Elden. Okay, well, then,
Yeah. I mean, Elden Ring probably won this, so I don't want to give it to it again.
Just sweeps the world.
I mean, it's the same. Like the game, yeah, they would probably have some different settings and stuff a little bit, but like and themes, but like overall, the overall graphic design of the game is the art direction is the same for the most part. So
yeah,
like,
I'll go with Metaphor. I had never seen Neva, so I don't know what that looks like.
Think of 2D Everwild.
Wait, is Neva the same people who made Gris?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
and it's known for being very like artistic.
That changes things. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Neva.
Okay.
But that's just based off of their work on Gris was like freaking amazing.
Yeah, so nothing to do with this game, about another game. You're voting for this one. Cool. Next one. Psycho Metaphor. Okay, yeah. So Metaphor, and what did you say, Fuzz?
This is a tough one. I'm gonna say Black Myth again. Like I'll say which one I think doesn't deserve being here.
That's
Elden
very
Ring.
fair. I think Black Myth could deserve this one as well. Like I would have no issue with that. Like it's a gorgeous looking game, you know.
Yeah.
Technically masterful with what they did. But my vote's Metaphor. We got more metaphors in the building, so we're going Metaphor. All right, let's go to the next. We got best score and music.
Really?
Metaphor.
Their
boss battle music wins it automatically by default.
I don't even know what he's saying. Something like that.
Yeah.
Best score in music. Yeah, I guess. I haven't heard like Silent Hill, or I heard a little bit of Stellar Blade soundtrack.
Final Fantasy always has great music. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. It's between Final Fantasy, just from what I've heard from Rebirth, and Metaphor. Actually, it's between.
I know a lot of people praise the music in Astrobot, and whenever I hear the clips, I like the music in Astrobot too. But like Metaphor is like just so unique and special, and what they did with the music, and it's going to be remembered forever, I think, for what they achieved with their soundtrack.
It's either Rebirth or Metaphor. It's very close. I don't know if I could choose one.
I hate that.
I'll just do Metaphor.
Right on. You Metaphor as well, Psycho?
Oh yeah.
All right. Metaphor, Refantasio, best score music.
Sweeping. It's sweeping the FSP
It's sweeping the FSP awards. Best audio design, best in-game audio, sound effects, and all these other kind of things. Man, I gotta give it to Hellblade 2 here. As special as Call of Duty's sound design always is, which is like insanely good, like best in class. Hellblade 2 is just a little bit better. Astrobot also has really good sound design as well. If I had to go just from what I heard of the game, like seeing all the clips and all the stuff, I think it's great. So my thing would be like Hellblade 2, then Call of Duty, then Astrobot 1, 2, 3, and then the other two behind it.
I'm thinking a little bit different order, but definitely Hellblade 2 for this. But
Uh-huh.
it's a tough one between Silent Hill 2 and Black Ops. Like they stepped up the audio, the creepiness audio
Yeah, that
for
atmospheric
Silent
my
stuff
Yeah.
with
gosh,
Silent
yeah.
Hill. Yeah, that could be special as well.
Like I think the weakest link on this one is Rebirth, honestly.
Yeah, why is this yeah, well, I kind of get it, but yeah, this one's actually really hard. Like, but when you think of good audio, like in general, my mind automatically goes to Hellblade just because of the voices in her head, the
Yeah.
soundtrack of like you know, while you're fighting, it just gets really intense. But Call of Duty had great sound this year. Astrobot, when I played um a little bit, the sound was great in that game too. Like even the way they handle like when you're walking on different textures and stuff like that, like you can hear it pretty well. um but I feel like Hellblade just freaking
I
dominated
mean,
it.
this is one of their like specialties that they
Yeah, this
use
is like
more than
their
anybody else.
thing, so probably Hellblade 2.
Yeah. I mean, they have people circling the mic, whispering random shit.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, Psycho. Where are you on it?
Oh, Hellblade 2.
Okay,
Nice.
so we're pretty much
Clean
unanimous here.
sweep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hellblade 2. I mean, that's like a
Let's be
no-brainer,
sweet.
really.
Yeah,
As good as some of the other ones
COD
are.
did great this year.
Yeah. Well, every year their sound is amazing.
Yep.
Best performance. Now, I think the performance for Star Wars Outlaws actress was great. I know some people don't like the character or whatever, but I thought so. Life is Strange Double Exposure. I don't know.
She's good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2, Luke, good old Luke
Max.
Roberts.
Max.
I can't say because I haven't played the game yet. I will play Silent Hill 2 eventually. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I couldn't say, but one that I know for sure, like, because it's literally her on the screen, like,
Yeah.
you know, in costume and all that stuff, like, is Melina Juergens, and she gets my vote all the way on this.
Yeah.
Yep,
I'll
I'll say
go with
Melina.
Juergens as well.
Yep, Hannah's is near for me. But
Yeah. You
but,
like Life is Strange a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've played some Life is Strange, and it always excel at this as well, right?
Did you play
So-
this?
Yeah,
3-bit?
but she's not better than me. Like, there's a lot of cringy moments. To be fair, there's a lot of cringy moments in Life is Strange.
Did you play it?
But you can never tell if it's the acting or the director or whatever. Like, there's just like these teenage moments where they just do dumb. That's more so the plot. But in terms of like performance, like putting their all into the performance, it's very prevalent in Hellblade 2. And yeah, I'm surprised that Troy Baker is not on here for once.
Yeah. Well,
His game came out too late.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been not, like Indiana Jones would have been. He would have been.
He
here for
sounds
Indiana Jones.
like Indiana.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. But
Yeah. So everybody, we're all good with Melina.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah,
3-bit.
Melina
Did you
Juergens.
play Double Exposure?
yeah.
I played it. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's different. It's not as good as the original,
Otherwise,
but
yeah.
it still has.
This is-
this
this is
I
a
don't
tough
know.
one.
Yeah, I don't know enough. You know what I mean? To talk about individually what these games did for accessibility.
Forza.
Like Forza is an easy one because it's like
Yeah.
well advertised about those things, but like
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough. So
What is like
What-
Diablo doing to push accessibility?
Their biggest thing is that they've made it so there's highlights on loot, highlights on enemies. Even in the darkest of dungeons, they make it easier so you can see what's coming at you and what you should pick up and all that stuff. The audio is also a big thing, but overall, Ubisoft, I think this past year for both Prince of Persia and Star Wars probably did the most.
okay.
I'm not sure on EA this go round. EA is usually lower on the totem pole for accessibility stuff. They do a pretty good job, but Ubisoft usually outpaces them. And then Yeah, I'm leaning it. It's going to be one of the Ubisoft ones, and it's not because I'm a Ubisoft fan. It's just they will almost put every accessibility in there, even if it hurts the gameplay to some extent. They'll make sure you can push a button and go kind of thing.
Yeah,
So they try to make it accessible for any disability.
Okay.
Star Wars. I don't know.
I see that. I just don't like use the features for that, and
Yeah.
or really have paid attention to what the games offer in those things enough to know for sure. So we'll flip a coin, I guess, a 5-sided coin. Does anybody feel super strongly about one of these games for this category
Star
specifically?
Wars.
You just said Star Wars. I don't know.
I think it's because it's harder to play and do the timing. I think Prince of Persia made it a little more accessible because of like how you have to do certain jumps and things.
Okay. Fair, that's good enough for me. Which I did
Yep.
play this game. It's a fantastic game as well.
Yep. So, Prince of Persia.
Cool.
Next category.
Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message.
I mean, Life is Strange has pro social meaning 100%.
Yeah, Hellblade 2 does for mental health as well.
Yeah.
Tails had some too.
Tales.
Neva, I don't know what's
I don't know
about.
what that.
Well,
Yeah.
like with Tales, it's accepting death and coming to terms with that. Neva, I think, was supposed to be death, but with nature or losing a loved one type of thing.
Okay.
And Indica, I think, was supposed to be like
Learning how to cope with a bunch of nuns laughing at you.
escape persecution kind of thing. I think.
Yeah, I remember those trailers for that game were all, like crazy. They were all over the place. I had no idea what was going on.
This is a tough one. This is almost another coin flip. I'm not close, or I'm not sure I'm closer, close to the distance, but all the other ones have something pertinent to life that you'll
this seems like a subjective category.
It varies because different things are meaningful to different people. Like I'll say, out of these, I'm more familiar with Life is Strange as a franchise and like what they do and that stuff, and I think they do a lot of meaningful things there. I know kind of the synopsis of Tales of Kenzera Zhao and kind of the meaning behind that. The Hellblade 2. We all know about that one.
Mental
and
health.
Stuff. Yeah, 100%, right?
Well, mental health, and there was also a social thing in there as well, as far as fighting against slavery or being enslaved. So
that's
I would
true.
say
And,
Hellblade probably has a couple of or more than one mixture of titles or not titles, but mixture of ideals. I might say it's a toss up between Life is Strange and Hellblade.
Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of at, but I've played all the way through Hellblade. So, since Psycho, you and 3-Bit both played through Double Exposure and Hellblade 2.
Yeah,
y'all can be the tiebreaker here for us. Which one is?
What? Can I see the top again?
Topic.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
For a thought-provoking
game with a pro-social meaning or message. Yeah, I just said that survey because that's what the box art says. I don't know what the game's about whatsoever.
I'll go for Life is Strange.
Life is Strange?
Just because, like, Hellblade, yes, Hellblade, they literally contacted mental health professionals because of what Senua kind of deals with her. It's like I guess it's a form of schizophrenia and different things, hearing different voices. It tackles a lot of different themes for sure, but Life is Strange is more so about that. Hellblade, it has it has like more Nordic kind of themes and things like that. So I think Life is Strange is more about the impact than Hellblade is. So I mean, if I had to pick, they both do like a great job. One is just a little bit more subtle than the other, maybe.
Oh
So,
yeah, Life is Strange Double Exposure. It's in your face
yeah,
of what their messaging is. Just for that, that's my pick as well, because they definitely put it out there to give you, you know, the consequences of what you do. Your choices can affect somebody, and you know, and I think that for where we are in our right now, it's going to be double exposure for me as
yeah,
well.
Okay, fair enough. You guys went out. Both played both games, so can't argue.
yeah.
Um,
To be fair, I haven't tried out the other games like Indica and stuff like that, but
yeah. Well,
I was
I
thinking
mean,
about it.
that's the thing with these is like we're all not gonna
How
have beat all these games. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? This is
how is Hellblade 2 best ongoing? Didn't it come out this year?
Helldivers 2. Yeah, that's the one I said earlier I was gonna get
How
to
the
this. Right?
fuck is it out
Okay.
ongoing?
Okay, like I don't understand the category obviously because it's like an ongoing game should be reached a certain point of lifespan to be considered ongoing. Because like, what if they shut down? It's not going to happen. It's a very successful game, but what if they shut down the servers within a year and it just doesn't become an ongoing game or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
This is actually
um,
really impressive how Sony keeps dominating this category
yeah.
when
I mean,
they
this
like
is
wow.
Microsoft's like
This is like their
category. Like
thing. Like this
Forza
is their category.
Horizon 5, like not being here is a travesty.
Horizon,
Sea of Thieves not being here.
Halo.
Minecraft, like I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about you could put Grounded, like anything that's been around longer than 8 months.
Yes,
Really,
it's crazy.
like,
Helldivers 2 should not be here, period.
I don't have a problem with Helldivers 2 being praised as in different genres and different categories because I think it's an amazing game.
It's not best
But like overall for ongoing, these categories don't exist. If Phantom Liberty won this last year, how come this isn't where Shadow of Erdtree is? Right? And we had issues with that. It doesn't make any damn sense. That's what we're talking about. There's no rhyme or reason to this
Nope.
stuff. Right?
Like for me, I think Helldivers 2 deserves to be here more than Destiny 2. Only because they had more support and more of a player base at given moments than Destiny 2 did. Destiny 2 may have been the bigger game in the long run, but for this past year, it was not. So Destiny 2 needs to go bye-bye.
Like, I'm not saying Helldivers or Destiny doesn't deserve to be here, Fuzzy. I just think, like, you think of all the it's just actually impressive that there's only one Xbox game when they're known for this, this category, like in best ongoing with Forza.
Warzone should definitely be here.
Yeah, they just have too much for them to just have one. And Bungie, or Sony, they don't even really specialize in multiplayer yet. Somehow they still dominate this category. I think this is funny. But yeah, I think Helldivers 2. I guess it deserves to be there more than Destiny, just because of like it's more recent or so.
Well, that's why I don't think that's why I don't think it should be there because it's not like at some point it becomes a new game to an ongoing game, right?
Yeah, but we established that they don't care about the freaking rules.
They need to freaking start caring about some kind of rules or criteria somewhere.
The only rule is the game of the year has to be in that same year.
The only rule is there are
minus
no
2 months.
rules. We'll make the rules as we go, depending on what the game's media picks.
It's a toss up to Fortnite and Diablo to me. So
yeah, I think this is going to be a controversial one. I think Final Fantasy 14 should win this. It got a resurgence when it came to Xbox. It's got more of a player base than it's ever had in a while. And they're giving it support based on other Final Fantasy franchises.
I read that as Final Fantasy 16. So yes.
Like Final Fantasy 14, honestly, either Fortnite because Fortnite or Final Fantasy 14. I like that Diablo was considered, but Warzone should be there over Diablo.
Yeah, and Alvin says the final shape saved the franchise, perfectly wrapped up the 10-year Light Dark saga and redeemed itself after the Light Falls debacle.
I
Y'all
have no
agree.
issue with Destiny 2 being here. In fact, it's like they invented this category for like traditional games instead of MMOs, right?
Yeah.
Like Destiny 2, and this probably the last chance it has to be there if they don't continue the expansions and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't have any issue with Destiny 2. Obviously Diablo 4 makes a lot of damn sense. Final Fantasy 14 makes a lot of sense. Fortnite makes a lot of sense. Helldivers 2 next year makes a lot of
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
Not this year, right?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Final
But
Fantasy 14.
okay. And Fuzzy, you said which game?
I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy 14 as well.
Okay. And what about you, 3-bit?
Probably Final Fantasy.
Okay. I would say Fortnite, actually. I know it's
Yeah.
crazy bad. I mean, like, I mean, we
Did
play a
people
lot
like
of.
this latest season? I was just like kind of thinking of like the seasons because I did think about Fortnite, but yeah, just some of the later seasons I haven't heard like.
Well, unless I'm wrong, like it's only one on here that's completely free to play, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's been around forever, and it has such a huge thing, and every time there's a new content, it's such a huge deal. The seasons are a big deal. They add so much. They change the map so
True.
often. They add different modes. Like this past year, this is specifically the reason why I picked Fortnite specifically this year. They literally added like a racing game to it,
Yeah.
based on like Rocket League, with like it's our arcade racer. They added a harmonics built like Guitar Hero esque kind of game built within it as well.
They
A
built
rhythm,
guitars for that game.
yeah, and then they add tons of content and all these other kind of stuff for it that's expanded to become something even more than it ever was before. And as these individual games all did great in their own things, Fortnite keeps evolving into something like crazy.
It's
You know
the
what I mean?
Roblox.
So I vote Fortnite, but you guys all picked Final Fantasy 14 unless I made a case to sway you. But
Those were the top two in my eyes.
yeah,
It's a tough one. I'll say Final Fantasy 14 is what they'll give the award to, but Fortnite
Yeah.
should probably win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit difficult. For me, it was between Final Fantasy, Fortnite, and Diablo actually, just because all the cool things they've added in the DLC and all that. But I know we got some Destiny fans in
yeah.
the
Well,
chat.
you guys picked Final Fantasy 14. That's fine.
But yeah,
We'll roll
she's
with
Final Fantasy. Yep.
shout out to Lotus Esprit. Very generous. Choo choo motherfuckers hit us with the 10 gifted memberships. Welcome to the
Choo choo.
membership train. They're new speculators. And we have someone here to celebrate.
Choo choo! Ha 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 ha!
All right.
Gosh. That gets me every time.
Next is best community support.
Ooh, this is
this is kind of tricky because this is recognizing game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. I know my favorite here, but I'm gonna. It's hard to pick because I think a couple of these games do excellent in this category. But I'm gonna vote for No Man's Sky because of how much free content they keep adding to this game and evolving it over time in response to the fans' wants.
Question: why the heck is Helldivers here? Well, because from what I understand, maybe this is not a fanboy.
That's another
thing.
very good question. As for what happened,
Like,
now Arrowhead did a great job handling the situation and
Mhm.
communication on their end, but the publisher side, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy that they keep snubbing like Sea of Thieves and stuff in these categories. Yeah, I just find that's really interesting when the thing about Helldivers right now is them not listening to their fans.
I mean, Larian is excellent with their community. They're very like communicative with everybody. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 14. I'm not as familiar, but I know that they do the same from what I've heard. Right. Fortnite. I mean it's so big that it's like a different beast, kind of.
They do their own thing.
Yeah, I mean they communicate and stuff, but it's always come like this marketing side of it, less like
Yeah.
direct, like developer to player, Helldivers 2, I think I think they do a good job overall from the Arrowhead Games perspective. Sony side, no. But No Man's Sky, I wouldn't think anybody would argue with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this one, vote No Man's Sky, but Diablo should be there instead of Helldivers 2.
Oh yeah, Diablo's like, oh, we screwed up the season. Oh, let's change everything. And later, oh, we screwed
didn't
up
like
the season. Oh, let's
that?
change
Okay.
everything. Yeah, they're
We're
just
gonna
like
fix it.
constantly like trying to communicate. That's a very good call there. But you could also do that with also pretty much most of the Microsoft ongoing games of service games, right? I would argue Halo Infinite could definitely be here because
Halo.
I mean, what they've done with the Forge community and all the updates to the modes and the playlist and everything in response to things, they hit their stride with that stuff recently. So
Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the exception of some licensing stuff with certain cars that they can't get the licensing for, they listen to the community and basically try and give them what they want. The only thing we haven't heard that they listen to is where Forza Horizon 6 will be, but I think they know where to have that game based.
I would also say Power World could be in here for newer games. They've done an amazing job with that, that kind of stuff. So anybody gonna veto me on No Man's Sky?
No, I agree with that. No Man's Sky.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Right on. I wouldn't have any issue with it whatsoever. All right, best indie game. My vote here goes to Balatro. It's also the only one of these I've played yet. I plan on playing Animal Well at some point.
I've never played any of these.
Yeah, fair enough.
I haven't played Balatro or Neva, but I could tell it'll be probably Neva.
Have you played Lorelei and the Laser Eyes?
Nope.
Have you played UFO 50?
Nope.
Okay.
So I haven't played a lot of these games.
Yeah.
I haven't played
I've at least seen all but the Lorelei one. That's the only one I haven't seen.
So none of y'all have played any of these games.
Just like the Game Awards, I'm going off of vibes.
All right. Well, have any of y'all played any of these games?
No,
not yet.
So this is Mav's vote.
Okay, so Balatro.
Yeah. But I do want to really play Neva.
Best debut indie game.
What
Now,
is this category?
A couple of these I played, but I'm probably going to pick the one that I don't get. Yeah.
So this is for the first time game from the developer, right?
Oh,
hands down.
That's a difference.
Hands down, Man of Lords.
Man of Lords is fucking amazing. It launched in a preview status, right? So it's not content complete yet, but it is amazing. I haven't played Pacific Drive yet, Plucky Squire or Animal Well. Plucky Squire might get a lot of votes.
Man of Lords.
Well, might get a lot of votes.
just from what I've seen, like I've played Plucky Squire, but Balatro probably.
Yeah, I mean, I love Man of Lords. It's fucking like mine. I would go Balatro 1 and then Man of Lords 2.
Especially because how I've not
50-50.
played Balatro. It's coming. There's a lot of games I need to get through.
But Balatro is like crack, bro. You know how Vampire Survivors kind of consumed a lot of people's time just because it was like addictive.
Why is that not best ongoing?
Could be. But Balatro is like that. Balatro will grab you, especially if you have any kind of love for poker or playing cards or anything like that. Like,
I mean, I love Marvel Snap.
you only play strip poker, so
Yeah.
you love Marvel Snap. Well, it's not cards like Marvel Snap where it's like a battle. Like you're trying to achieve a certain amount of points, and what you play on the field accumulate a certain amount of points depending on your boost cards. Right? I don't remember what they're called, but like you have your jokers, right? And you can have a certain amount of jokers, and those all grant like bonuses. And you play cards according to match up with your jokers to score the most amount of points.
We
And the
gotta,
rules are kind of Texas Hold'em-y, right? If you're familiar with poker,
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em, right? It's based on the like pairs and two pair and three of a kind, full house. All that.
I was gonna vote for Bellagio, but now that Special Nick says it, we should go to Plucky's. I'm just kidding. No, we should. I think just based on I've seen footage and stuff of Bellagio. Yeah.
I mean,
I've only played Plucky Squire out of this list though, so I'll leave the vote to you guys.
The reason I vote, like, I would say like Manor Lords is more technically impressive. It's gorgeous for a builder game, right? It's amazing what he's trying to do, but it's just not complete yet. You know, so for me and just creating something new that's really never been done in the way before, my vote's for Bellagio. And I don't think 3-Bit or Psycho played any of these.
Pacific Drive.
I played Plucky Squire.
Oh, okay.
But,
I played Pacific Drive.
Okay. So would y'all vote for those, or would y'all vote for one of the other ones? You vote for Pacific Drive?
Yeah,
3-Bit?
I still say Bellagio, just from what I've seen, footage and stuff.
Works for me. And my wife, the beautiful Caitlin in the chat, says Bellagio. Yeah.
Yeah. Kate also approves. Extra vote.
Best mobile game.
ZZZ.
Zenless Zone Zero. That's where you're going. Fair enough.
Pokemon trading game Pocket.
I haven't played any of these.
I mean, my vote's Bellagio again.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. I've been playing nothing but Pokemon trading.
I know Steel would vote Wuthering Waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave it to you guys.
So we got Zone Zero. Did you actually pick Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Psycho,
Yes.
or is that it? Okay?
Yes.
And then 3-Bit says, I don't give a shit. So that's a toss-up between three.
Just think anime characters with guns and other shooting abilities against like weird spiritual
this is a
robot
Hoyoverse
things.
game. I'm sure it's amazing. Like just for the sake of it, because we're split 3 ways here. And I'll go ahead and give that to you, Fuzz.
Thank you.
My vote will be Fuzzy's vote.
Best VR AR.
None of us play VR or AR.
Oh,
so it's just a matter of
Batman, because it's Batman.
Yeah.
Best action game. Here we go. We got Warhammer. We got Stellar Blade 2. We got Helldivers 2 in a category in which it actually belongs. We got Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And then we got Black Myth Wukong.
Ooh. You know what? Even though I haven't played it, I'm going to lean Warhammer just for the fact that it has a lot of action.
It's very action.
It's old school action. Like and we want more of those kind of games. So.
My vote's for Warhammer.
Nick's spamming the chat with Pokemon. It's gonna be hard pressed for me to vote anything Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
They sued Pal World, man, or Nintendo did.
Nintendo did.
I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for Black Ops.
Okay.
It was so good. Like the combat and the Omni movement, I feel like added a lot. And like, for me, but I haven't played Space Marine yet. I bought it, so I'm sure if I played that, it looks extremely punchy and all that. But I'm gonna go for Black Ops actually.
Okay. I love Helldivers too, right? But this is the best Call of Duty I've played in forever. So that's even more impressive, just that I can say that. Space Marine 2 is fucking incredible. This is literally a ridiculously hard one for me to pick, but I'm gonna go with Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Psycho?
Warhammer.
Warhammer? And what did 3-bit
Are
say?
we? I said Black Ops.
Yeah.
So we got 2 versus 2.
Now, maybe the tie-breaking vote will be Kate or the chat.
Okay, well, she didn't play any of the games besides Call of Duty, so I know
Oh,
where
okay. She's probably
Wait, she just
All
said
right.
Call of Duty is great.
Yeah, that's the only one she's played, Call of Duty. So
Okay.
like,
Right,
she
chat.
loves Call of Duty. She'll vote for Call of Duty every time.
If you guys want Black Ops, put 1. If you guys want Space Marine 2, put 2. Let's see how they feel.
This one, I could literally see any one of these 5 games winning this category.
True.
Like I would not have like an issue with any single game winning this, right? It is a very strong category this year.
Yeah. This is probably one of the toughest categories, aside from Game of the Year, which that's a whole nother story. But yeah, this is probably the toughest category.
This is a better Game of the Year list than the actual Game of the Year list.
Yeah.
Let's see.
One. What was one? Was it Call of Duty?
1 was Black Ops, 2 was Space Marine.
When 1 is clearly winning, although Big Mad Mo has a lot of ones in and of himself. No cheating. I've just now noticed that. You're allowed one or 1-2. Man, okay, because we got. Man, I'm gonna have to do a poll for this, guys, so that way we can make sure there's no cheating.
Yeah, you guys are cheating.
All right. Blops 6. Okay, which one? Blops 6.
I just pulled the Gengar EX.
You pulled a what?
A Gengar. It's Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon.
Oh, okay. That's not my language.
I thought you said something Genki. I was like, wait, the guy from Saints Row?
I mean, is this like this is one of the only ones that Call of Duty is actually nominated for too. So or Warhammer as well.
Yeah.
So this is very important for either one of these games.
Well, they both get nominated in one other category together as well.
Yeah. So, man, okay, that specific point there, Fuzz, has me potentially swaying my vote.
Yeah.
Because if they're two up against each other in 2 different categories, I think they both deserve acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And in this category alone, as being a pure action game, maybe I would roll with Warhammer in that case, and then roll with Black Ops 6 for the multiplayer one.
Yeah.
Because I think the multiplayer is more expanded and everything than on Space Marine 2. Although Space Marine 2 has co-op.
Yeah.
Oh, God, man. It is really hard.
It's I wouldn't say a more complete multiplayer at that point, but it's got a lot more to offer in its multiplayer.
So
I'm sticking with Black Ops. I'm
gonna stick with Black Ops 2. Fuck it. I can't take it off Black Ops.
It's a tough one.
It's so good.
This is a no one loses category kind of thing. I mean, technically somebody will, but
See, this is what happens when you have games that actually deserve to be in the category. You get this type of dialogue where you're like, oh shoot, well, they both are great, but
it's
in a lot
hard.
of cases it's not that.
All right, I'm gonna end the poll. So you guys had like 2 minutes there. And we got 28 votes, 64% for Black Ops 6. And I know those weren't all Big Mad Mo spamming the 1. So
right.
I almost accidentally voted for Black.
Yeah, Black Myth, like, oh no.
Which I could win this category. I almost accidentally clicked on Black Myth. For real.
Yeah, it's funny.
Best action adventure game. Okay, so this is different than best action game because there's adventure involved. Again, this would Indiana Jones would have probably swept this easy.
Yeah. I'm leaning Star Wars on this one.
Okay.
I'm leaning
That's
Astrobot. Astrobot for me.
Okay.
Star Wars.
Okay.
What say you, Mav?
I'm back and forth between Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and Star Wars Outlaws.
Mm.
I think Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is a better game, but as a pure adventure, like Star Wars Outlaws is better, in my opinion. Like it's that's the definition of an action adventure game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Now, we got a horror game in there and out of what I think people are going to vote for, I think ultimately the audience is going to vote for Silent Hill 2 here because it's the highest rated, I think, in most.
No, Astrobot.
Well, as for Astrobot's not an action adventure game; it's a platform. So this is one of those. Man, you know the categories don't mean
with the platformer with puzzles.
Well, I don't know if that's a category or not, but I was just thinking of.
I mean, is Mario an action adventure game?
What are we defining as action adventure? Maybe that'll help.
Like
battling,
I would put Hellblade
seeing...
2 in this category.
See, this is all right. So
it's an action game with an adventure. That's literally what the fuck you're doing. In the game.
Whenever I think of, maybe I just think of action adventure differently.
Think of like action adventure is like Uncharted, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, right?
Like you're kind of going on a journey, right? Like it doesn't have to be open world.
Yeah, I mean that's how I always perceive it. Like Star Wars Outlaws is like a definitive like action adventure kind of game. Assassin's Creed games are all action adventure games, like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
These are like genre defining like a kind of games. And then Prince of Persia generally, this one is more of a this is a Metroidvania version of Prince of Persia, but traditional Prince of Persia for a long time has been a action adventure franchise. But it's like, what is what? I would say Zelda is an action adventure franchise for sure. You're going on an adventure. You're Zelda, like, or you're Link trying to save Zelda or whatever the situation is,
But
this
I almost feel like
and this one you are Zelda.
with Keely's new rules be damned approach, I think Forza Horizon 5 should be nominated for action adventure because the action is you're racing and you can take an adventure across Mexico.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are no rules. So what did you say, Psycho? You said what? Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Fuzzy said Star Wars.
Yeah.
3-bit. You said Astrobot. I'm gonna say Prince of Persia, but Star Wars wins.
Yay!
We got two votes there.
That was my second.
Cool. Oh, I didn't skip, did I?
I don't think so.
Sure. Okay, no. All right. Best RPG. Ooh.
Wow. This is where Dragon's Dogma finally pops up.
Put Grand Blue Fantasy Relink right here, and then put Unicorn Overlord right here. And then we actually have more of a legitimate, I think, RPG category.
Yeah.
All right.
You go first.
Oh, God,
Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, I'm going for Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, man. This is another one because I can make a case for either. Like, Metaphor slightly edges out Dragon's Dogma for me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even look at Metaphor being here.
Tough category.
God.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's very close. I feel like I voted so much for Metaphor. That shouldn't be the reason I vote for something else. But
yeah, Dragon Age Velgar could be in this category too.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for Dragon's Dogma here because it got snubbed on so many other things. right? Metaphor
Yeah.
has
Should
chance
have
to
been
win
game
these
of
other
the
ones.
year
So, all right.
contender.
Dragon's Dogma. Psycho said Dragon's Dogma? Or you said Metaphor?
I said Metaphor, but
Okay.
I said Dragon's Dogma.
We got 3 dragons.
Yay.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is amazing.
the official FSP nomination.
It counts for nothing.
Oh,
Counts
this
for
one's an easy one.
Best fighting?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
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 I mean, I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has a chance.
But yeah, I have heard good things about Sparking Zero.
yeah, I'm Sparking Zero.
Oh,
You're Sparking Zero?
Yes, sir.
Right. I'm Tekken 8.
Tekken 8, yeah.
3-bit.
Shoot.
Have you played any of these games?
I played both Tekken, Multiverses, and Sparking.
Oh,
Did you play the re-release multiverse or the original multiverse?
The original one. I haven't played. I know they did like a beta, and then they finally released it. It's honestly between Sparking and Tekken.
Yeah, Alvin, I think Tekken is like a 91, but like Sparking Zero had really good reviews too. I don't know what it scored in total, but obviously, if Black Myth Wukong is in the game of the year, the scores don't matter anymore.
I mean, we
I'm
got a
actually gonna
remake
go- I'm gonna
or
go
a
for Sparking.
Remaster in here.
So we got 2 for Sparking. I'm gonna go Tekken 8 all the way on this. What about you, Fuzz? Fuzz, you're Tekken also?
Oh yeah, Tekken.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not going to vote for a remaster.
Especially next to Marvel. Like okay, Marvel versus Capcom 2. If it was like back in the day, like, it gets my vote. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to vote for it this year when there's games that have new, versions.
Our votes are split again.
Oh man, I don't want to take the time to do another poll.
Just go for Tekken.
Okay, no argument. I really want Tekken to win that one. It's just, man, that even just the story, like the modes they do, the story, like everything was just awesome with Tekken.
Yeah.
Best family.
Well, since there's 3 Nintendo titles, you have to vote a Nintendo title.
Yeah.
Astrobot. They're dominating this
Princess
category.
Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. I haven't touched any of these.
Astrobot is not 2-player that I know of. So it's a family game with one person playing the controller.
Super Mario Party Jamboree has my boss fucking addicted.
That one got insane reviews. I am a fan of Mario Party games. If I had a Switch currently, I would have bought this as well. So for that reason, I'll say that and I know Mario Party is always a great family game.
Yeah.
Am I wrong that Astrobot is not even 2 players?
I'm
Pass
pretty
the
sure
controller.
you passed it.
I know it has like multiplayer,
turn.
like
You can do this.
Time Trials. I don't think that's a very good family game. Besides it just being the aesthetics. I'm gonna go with Super Mario Party as well.
Yeah. Super Mario Party it is.
All right. Where are we on? We're at 20 of 29. It's going to get to the esports categories. So we'll blaze through those. Oh, this is another one that's really
Unicorn, Manor Lords,
Oh,
Path of the Goddess is actually Frostpunk 2 is good.
man.
Path of the Goddess was freaking sick.
I've actually played every single one of these games.
Yeah. I think
Ara
the
was
weakest,
subbed, but I don't know what to take off the list.
yeah.
So.
I think the weakest link, honestly, only because it's early access, is Manor Lords, and that one was I enjoyed that one a lot.
I would personally, as much as I love Manor Lords, I'd put Ara History Untold over Manor Lords for this year. And it's such a great game, but I don't have an issue with Manor Lords being there. Age Mythology Retold is fucking excellent, but out of all of these, I got to go Unicorn Overlord. And I love all these. They're all excellent.
Played a little bit of Age Mythology, Path of the Goddess I played quite a bit. Didn't beat it though. So and then Unicorn Overlord I played a little bit.
Yeah, I 100%ed Unicorn.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna have to probably go for
Because
Unicorn.
any of these, Age,
Yeah,
Frostpunk,
Honestly, Path of the Goddess, what I like about it
Path
so
of the
much is it really innovated with like I just like the system of like the horde mode aspect and stuff like that. Like I like the way they handled it, where you can like set up your units and things like that. So it's right there.
was Unicorn
shoot.
Overlord in Game Pass? I forget.
no.
Okay, that's the only one on the list that's not in Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
That's crazy.
Actually, I'm gonna do
Oh,
Path of
yeah.
the Goddess. That's for me. Path of the Goddess for me.
Okay, which hey, no argument. Buzz.
I think the only one that I haven't played is Unicorn Overlord. This is a hard one.
It is very hard.
Yeah, because they all deserve it.
Yeah.
I think the one I stuck with the most, only because of the city building aspect, was Manor Lords. And like I said, that's to me that's the weakest link because of being the early
Right.
access. But Path of the Goddess was fun. Frostpunk was a little bit harder than I expected. Age
Yeah.
Mythology, I need to spend more time in at some point, but I there's something for me. Manor Lords.
Okay. So we'll give it to Unicorn because that's 2-1-1.
Yeah.
I like if Aura History Untold is here, it would have gotten my vote.
That might be the one that
That's-
would beat out Manor Lords for me too.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah. Best sports racing.
Why is
My
sports
boy
and
got
racing?
snubbed.
What the heck? Why is sports and
It's
racing
not, they
together?
do that. They always do it, like because he doesn't want to celebrate the annual releases. You know,
So dumb.
really.
I'm going for.
It was a weak year for racing games. In general. There wasn't a lot of
I'm gonna vote for a write-in.
writing.
I'm going for WWE, I guess, or it's either between WWE or NBA.
Where's Undisputed?
Yeah.
This is such a bogus.
I mean, only one of these I've played this year is 2K25, but I play some FC24 this year after I hit Game Pass. I didn't get it WWE. I know a lot of people loved it.
Like people saying in the chat, no college football. Like I remember college football being like a huge thing this year.
That one would have easily.
Why
is
the
that
heck?
not here?
That's such a bogus.
Hey, that's a good call out.
I was thinking about that when I was voting earlier. I'm like,
why is Topspin in here?
I mean, over
because the judges probably actually played that as opposed to NCAA.
So dumb. That's actually such a bogus category. Sports and racing should be completely separate.
Yeah.
There's no racing. I mean, I guess that's one.
Buzz, are you going to vote for F1 because it's the racing game?
I mean, of what's available, yeah, just so that way they purposely split it at some point, but they won't. They
3-bit
WWE.
Psycho.
I guess I'm glad that Flight Sim didn't make the cut, because that would be atrocious to kind of, because they would have probably snubbed it anyway. Which I'm starting to hate Keeley.
I guess WWE because they had the Road to WrestleMania.
Fair enough. I'll roll with that. But didn't it only have that in the like premium edition or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you had to buy like extra content or something. I can't remember. I remember
I usually have a fun time.
I thought it was in the game, but there was a
I don't know. There was something about it.
Best multiplayer. Call of Duty.
We said it's either, so for me it's Call of Duty, right? But Space Marine, I felt bad I didn't give it that vote. before.
Right. Yeah. See, this is where my heart was like, oh man, because I knew this was going to come up again. Jay Rimbert with a $2 super chat says, "Hit that like, people! It's for the PS Awards, everybody. This is the annual Let's Shit All Over the Game Awards and criticize their categories show. Best multiplayer. I God, this is like again as the action category was hard. This is hard because I could again vote for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, or Space Marine 2. But I got to be honest, like I think Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is just the overall better complete package game out of them,
Yeah.
and it has the best multiplayer. Helldivers 2 is excellent, love it, but
Overall package, Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Black Ops 6 for me again. But
Yeah.
Space Marine will give you the runner-up FSP award.
Yeah, and like for multiplayer, like Space Marine 2's got co-op, it's got good multiplayer modes and stuff, and they're gonna keep it going. But like I don't think people would argue that the PvP modes in Space Marine 2 are gonna hold a candle to like Call of Duty's.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and then technically Call of Duty you could consider the zombies as that like co-op experience as well. You know what I mean? PvE experience. So they're giving you more. Helldivers 2 is a more unique experience. I'll say like it created something special with that genre and did something great, but still Call of Duty's giving me more, right? So it seemed like we're mostly all in agreement there. So. Best adaptation. This is TV show category at the Game Awards. Which video
Fallout.
game adaptation is the best?
Let's go, Knuckles.
I see a lot of people saying Arcane.
Yeah, it's gonna be Arcane for me.
Ar-
Arcane is
I-
freaking amazing.
Arcane is amazing, but I'm gonna give it to Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout.
I'm surprised Like a Dragon Yakuza here because people shit on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they just ran out of options. But
I-
for me,
I didn't even watch it. That's how great
You know
it is.
what? I'm surprised Last of Us isn't here.
that was last year.
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
It's best ongoing best adaptation.
You guys have to see, like, Arcane was my 10 out of 10 show. Like, that show, it's freaking amazing. And
And Mick Kumar says Arcane
is.
isn't even fully out yet.
you can
I
watch
think
it right now. Oh well,
the whole season.
the whole season. I've only watched a couple episodes. I don't know. Is
The whole season there?
It's on
for-
Netflix, so I assume so.
If the whole season isn't there yet, that's pretty fucking funny, honestly. It's like, what if the whole show falls apart after like the 4th episode, and like everybody's like, "Oh, this is the worst shit. What do they do to it? It's the worst ever." You know.
I guess not. Yeah, it says episode 7 comes out November 23rd, so I guess they're releasing it.
And
kinda
just basing it on their love for the quality of it and stuff. It's fine. I don't have much issue with it.
Yeah.
But my vote's Fallout.
Same.
I'm going Arcane.
Psycho, did you say Arcane?
Oh no, I said Fallout.
Okay.
No.
This is an easy one.
Most anticipated
Fallout was good,
game.
Grand Theft Auto 6, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto
Risk
6.
Table.
I mean, I'm looking forward to go GOTY, but nowhere near on
Yeah.
the scale of Grand Theft Auto. Sorry. Just
They don't.
mean,
they don't
even
see my
Monster Hunter
Fable.
Wilds
I
is
don't
up
see
there.
my Fable on here.
Yeah.
Fable, like Fable would be what I would vote for here, like personally.
They really do not like Xbox. This is like very obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want people to know Xbox.
It's like you would not know Xbox exists from watching the game.
I would have put Doom: The Dark Ages and Fable over Death Stranding, and
I'm
well,
putting
like Ghost of
GTA.
Yotei, I can't, and Metroid Prime. I think a lot of people were disappointed with how Metroid Prime 4 looked when they showed it. So I don't know.
GTA for me. That's obvious.
GTA, everybody GTA. So I know. Are you saying GTA Psycho or no?
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
it's the best option out of all these.
Content. I have no clue who any of these people are.
Anime girl.
Yeah, that's the one I picked. I was like, anime character. Okay.
Anime. I don't know.
Yuzada Pokiora.
It's probably
Is
a
that
dude.
Heck or-
Y'all just want to vote for the anime?
Yep.
girl?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's do it.
I have no clue who any of these people are. I guess I don't watch enough content.
I vote for Iron Lords.
Yeah. Best esports game. Oh my god. Okay.
Counter-Strike.
Valorant.
Yeah, first one that we had.
Ah.
Now, did these people actually participate this year?
Who's
Don't
I don't
know.
know, but I
I'm
think the
going for
guy in the middle
Faker.
with the thumbs up, he should get the nomination.
Which one
Yeah.
looks the coolest?
Yeah, I'm going with Chovy.
I only know Faker and Chovy.
I'm thinking Zimjik because I can't pronounce the name. ZMJJKK.
Go with what your heart feels.
And he's doing the Call of Duty like pose, the one, the emote at in the winner's circle, the b-boy pose.
Yeah, okay. I'll go for something. Or I mean, I know Faker. Faker's really good.
Is
But he's
he
a
real?
faker.
Yeah, he plays some.
He's holding up something that looks important, like
Yeah,
he
he
won,
won an award or something.
MVP.
and he's
So-
holding a 1, so that must mean he won something.
He's number 1.
This guy won something.
Yeah, but
This
he looks
guy-
like he won second place.
This guy has a thumb. This
Yeah.
guy. This guy is sponsored by Puma. Is that Puma or is that?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Puma,
That's something. Got some sponsors.
And
But
this guy
Faker,
is
look, Faker doesn't
guessing-
need all those brands. He's just like,
He doesn't even
Man.
have a name. He's just 33. Like, is that
Alright.
his age or is that just like a random number?
No, he's just 33.
That's how many. Never mind. I'm not even go there.
What?
Chovy.
Chovy.
Can we vote for what's one of the looks like the biggest underdog?
Chovy.
That would probably be 33 then.
When I voted, I picked Chovy because he gave a thumbs up. Like, thanks for nominating me.
Okay,
Okay, let's go for Chovy.
Chovy, you get our vote because apparently we like your thumb.
Oh my gosh.
Best esports team.
I only know Team Liquid.
I'm gonna go with Gen G because Kobe's on there. Trophy.
Oh,
Are
is
we
he?
going
Chovy's
Chovy
on
all
there?
the way?
I'm
How do
going
we know?
Chovy.
The hands
is
are in the
hopeful.
pocket. We need the
Because it's
identified
the
Chovy.
All right. Let's go, Jen. Let's Kobe all down the ballot. Let's do it. Gen G.
Okay,
Oh man.
Gen G.
Oh.
I actually have somebody to root for. If we see Chovy win, I'm going to be hella fucking excited.
Yeah,
And I
now
hope he
that-
goes on stage and he goes like this. I will fucking die. I will die.
Now I'll be looking out for that when we watch the Game
All right.
Awards.
Player's voice, 3 rounds. Opens December 2nd. Okay. Oh man. That was,
And those are the official FSP nominations. Nations.
oh man. That was brutal. So, but we got through it. We got through it, everybody. Well, we have a big week of games releasing this week. And 2 of them are going to be releasing back-to-back days, and they missed the cutoff, so they're never going to get any consideration from any kind of award show going forward. That's Flight Sim and Stalker 2.
Unless they go to PlayStation at some point, then
Yeah, Indiana Jones might get consideration next year because it'll be fresh in those people's minds, right? So we'll see at that point. But overall, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty damn good week for Tidbits. So
yeah.
let's have some fun getting into that. Where's my Tidbits? Oh, there it is. All right, everybody. This is Tidbits, the segment where we look ahead at the games releasing for the week. Um, did you do a playlist, Fuzzy, or did you do the separate? You did this.
No, I sent the playlist.
Okay.
Wait.
I see it. I see it. Yeah, I got it. Cool. All right, and let me share this.
Rated M for mature.
All right, what do we got?
We got Retro Realms Halloween coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch and PC this Monday for $24.99.
Michael Myers is back.
It's crazy. I just was saying, like, to a coworker, like, it'd be cool if Michael Myers had his own game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just said that off the cuff, just randomly to somebody. It's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Seems
Yeah, I'm
dope.
probably picking this one up as well as the next one.
Looks
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm digging this.
I didn't know he could move like that, though.
Jumping it.
Why are we always see him
Rated
walking
M
in
for
the
mature.
movies? He can do all that shit.
All right, this next one is Retro Realms Ash versus Evil Dead, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch and PC, also Monday for $24.99.
Ash Williams return. This is the same game.
Hey, what the heck?
It's Ash.
Yeah, is this literally the same?
I'll nail ya. Time to get groovy.
I needed to. These games are my vibe. Like, I could play these type of games for hours.
Yeah, it's like the same boss.
Yeah.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube?
Rated M for mature.
Oops.
All right.
The
This
only
one-
thing more popular than
Come on, no, there we go.
All right, this is Road Command. It's coming to PC for in early access on Steam this Monday for $17.99. Nice little RTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, man.
Collect resources.
It looks like it's got base build.
Mm-hmm.
Scout the map for any advantage. And
Giving me
repair
Halo Wars
devastating
vibe.
roadblocks with your army.
What is the roguelike elements, though?
Your enemy's strength will increase battle after battle. To keep up, you'll have to assemble an evolving
Yeah,
deck
some of the
full
upgrades and
powerful
whatnot.
combos.
Mm.
Improve them with upgrades and find hacks to change the rules of the battlefield.
Yeah, this is giving me Halo Wars vibes, and I like that.
Intergalactic war can sometimes be beautiful.
Not a huge fan of the art style, but I'm sure it could grow on me.
Yeah, there's some of these like RTSs made by smaller developers that kind of go for like simplistic look.
Yeah.
Build your army and fight the robot threat to the farthest reaches.
But when they do that, a lot of times it allows for way more on the screen, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Rogue Command, a roguelike real-time strategy game.
It looks pretty good, man.
So I guess the roguelike is it gets more and more difficult, and then you're just kind of adapting
Yeah.
to that. I guess that's
Yeah,
the
you have to pick and choose paths of upgrades.
yeah, very cool.
Oh, here we go. The sky is calling.
Yep. Flight Sim 2024 coming to Series X and S and PC this Tuesday for $69.99, or included in your Xbox Game Pass PC or Ultimate subscription.
Oh, this is a Game Pass trailer. I'll
Hey.
rock it.
Oh wait, I thought it was actually the one for just the flights.
That's fine. Hey,
right, cool.
Flight sim.
At
I
last,
can't
we
wait, bro.
return to our ancestral land,
This one.
Agaspa. It all begins with a colossal
Towers of Agaspa.
Yeah, this one's also coming to early access, but it's on PS5 and PC this Tuesday for $29.99.
Wow, looks great. I've never heard of this game. See the Shadow of the Colossus type climbing vibes.
Yeah,
Climb on shit. You farm.
yeah, this one does look pretty cool.
And why so serious?
When-
Yes, that was Goat Simulator. Goat Sim 3.
What did he say?
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be just a flight sim commercial. On being just Game Pass in general.
Yeah, this game looks pretty cool. Agaspa. Clearly inspired by Zelda
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zelda
in a lot
Shadow.
of ways. I saw like odes of Monster Hunter in there, Zelda in there, like different franchises.
Yeah, very cool. I have
This
not heard of
one
the
is-
game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
I was going to say, this is My Sims Cozy Bundle coming to Switch this Tuesday for $39.99.
What the heck?
If you want a cutesy Sims, this is pretty much it on Switch.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's what it should be called. Cutesy Sims.
It's very
It's Sims Animal Crossing.
yeah, I was gonna say Animal Crossing.
How sexist? They're like, oh, I'm a girl. Thanks for giving me a washer and a dryer. Yay! Now my house is complete. Now all I need is a husband to do his laundry.
All right, this is the release of Stray on the Switch this Tuesday for $26.99. Currently on pre-order sale on
I can tell.
or Nintendo Store.
It's definitely. I was like, why is it so blurry? Now I know.
Now, when this one was in the Game of the Year nomination, like a few years ago, that was one of the most craziest things, I think.
Yep.
Because that year, that was the year this went in over Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah,
That was like, what is happening right now? That was not a bad game. I think it's a good game, but yeah.
Yeah. It always have some bogus thing in Game of the Year. Stalker.
now I went with a slightly different. What do you call them?
The zone was never a
Trailer
friend
for
of
this one.
mine. Scenic and
This is Stalker 2,
breathtaking, yeah.
Heart of Chernobyl,
But don't
coming
be
to
fooled.
Series X and S
Gunfire in
and
the
PC
zone
this
hasn't
Wednesday
subsided
for
from making
$59.99.
Which is why you won't find a person
Or
here
included in
without a
your
weapon.
Game Pass
And if you
PC
need
or
one,
Ultimate
you might
subscription.
come across stashes
I'm
left by
ready.
stalkers who decided to hide their guns and best gear for the future. Before heading out on your next adventure, check your gear. Repair it if needed. Otherwise, you may face, well, consequences. And don't forget, without ammo, your piece is useless. Be sure to know
This
where
game's
to
gonna be
look
brutal.
and grab the ammo type you want, especially if you need something unique. There's a tool for every scenario. Depending on what kind of stalker you are and how you prefer to navigate the zone, you can upgrade your best friend with various attachments found along the way, installing them on the go to adapt to the exact fight at hand. And hey, if you want to stick with your firearm for a bit longer and customize it further, technicians will be happy to assist, but not for free. These guys can repair and upgrade your gear to suit your gunfight style, making it more specialized for specific circumstances, or vice versa, turning it into a versatile tool for any situation.
We're all just like enamored with this trailer.
Yeah, well, notice how
watching it.
we're not even talking. We're just like, whoa.
Remember, the zone is a unique place.
Yeah, I picked this one because it was mainly about the weapons, and that's going to be the main thing that draws me in on this game.
And fires differently.
And they were talking about like there's no procedural
and the type
generation,
of
like all the
armor you're
world,
up
the
against.
whole world's a system. Ukrainian references. Super cool. My only worry about this game, honestly, is just the performance. I'm wondering how it's going to perform.
But don't forget,
Targeting 60
this place
console.
is full of surprises.
But they have a lot of like post-processed effects and stuff going on. This is like
The more you know the zone,
when you get
and
hurt,
expect the unexpected, the better your
blurry. You
chances
know,
of
they got the
living
creatures.
another
And
day,
they just have a lot of stuff on the
exploring
screen
her
at the
mysteries
same
and
time.
secrets,
It's a
and
shame. This
reaching
one
the
I have a
goal
feeling could
you've
have
set
ended
for
up being
yourself.
a really strong Game of the Year candidate. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Very cool. I can't wait for that game.
Genshin Impact coming to Series X and
We're a tribe
S
of
this
warriors.
Wednesday, and it's
In
free to
ancient
play.
times, we were responsible for patrolling and defending all of Natlan.
So Ochcon's still managing to sow discord.
Big deal to hit
all
next
these
box.
years.
If you want to resolve a conflict through dialogue, sometimes you need a third-party facilitator. At this time and place, I'll bet the easiest person to find is...
His spirit has gotten lost and can't find its way back to his body.
I just want to rescue someone, and Granny won't let me.
$500 later, mystery surfaced again.
Yeah, it's like an action
worry
RPG
that we risk
survey,
repeating the
but
mistakes
it's
of
like
this
free to play with. I think it's completely free to
As
play.
long
isn't
as
it?
the soul is
With,
involved, I should be able to help.
But it kind of pushes you to get stuff.
Yeah.
Be free.
Looks awesome.
Take me up!
I've never played it.
You can see a ton of people on Xbox finally falling into this game.
Oh yeah.
It's either your end or mine.
Before the final moment truly arrives, we must fight harder
This
than
is a very well done trailer, I will say.
Tapestry is spirit and flames.
Nice. A lot of good
All
games.
right,
coming
this
out.
last one is On Your Tail. Coming to Switch and PC this Thursday for. Actually, it didn't have a price
Oh,
listing.
no.
My assumption is it's going to be around $29.99.
They made a furry game. Oh no.
Of course. What is life without a little mystery?
I'm confused now. This is a different kind of game.
It's like a card game.
I don't know what's happening.
Where adventure and intrigue are always on your tail.
On your tail.
Okay.
All right.
Not
Was
a
that
bad
it?
week. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, we know what the highlights are, right? We know what the
Yeah.
highlights are.
Yeah,
Flight
On Your
Sim,
Tail.
Stalker 2. I would say the Genshin trailer was really good, but it's a game that's been going on for a long time. New content coming to Xbox. But yeah, overall, huge week. And this is the seeing this kind of stuff is like the other issue. Like again with the Game Awards, move it, please, because it's never going to mean a damn thing if you have games like Flight Sim or Stalker 2, and then later Indiana Jones that just can't get considered whatsoever, right? That it is what it is. Want to thank everybody for being here tonight. It was a fun show. We had our annual Shit on the Game Awards nominations time, and we got to vote for and play a part in who we hope wins these categories. But yeah, Psycho, thanks for being here tonight, man. I had fun with hanging out with you, but tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Chat, you guys were amazing tonight. I know I can't always make it, but when I do, it's always a blast, and it's always fun to hang out with my brothers. And you can find me on social media. And I'm mostly playing fucking Xbox when I'm not working. So,
Right on. Cool. Find you there. Buzzy Belvedere, what about you, sir?
Yeah, this definitely was an awesome night. Always great hanging out with you guys. Love interacting with you as well as with the chat. Yeah, at some point we're going to have to put a Game Award show together or something, or the community as a whole, just so there's like ground rules and things like that we stick to, as opposed to just making stuff up on the fly. But this was pretty awesome. Looking forward to Flight Sim and Stalker 2 this week, and probably give a try on Genshin Impact. Love Zoneless Z, or is it Zoneless Zero Zone, or it's ZZZ. Zenless Zero Zone. I'll give Genshin Impact a try as well, but I have a good feeling my time's going to be taken up between Stalker and flying and putting out forest fires and flying VIPs and drones and whatnot. But
Epstein Island.
Yeah, so it's yeah. No, but this is going to be a fun week. But for those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter, or primarily where I'm at now on Blue Sky, also on Threads, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere but Facebook. But yeah, this was fun. Can't wait to do. Well, actually, I'm not going to be here this weekend for Xbox Ultimate. Gotta help the family with moving. So we'll see.
Right on, man. I hope that goes well for you.
Thanks.
3-bit. What about you, sir? Now, just let everybody know, we didn't tell you guys ahead of time because we didn't want to we didn't want to influence where our decisions were going to be or how y'all were going to react to the nominations. But 3-bit's actually the one that designs the categories for the Game Awards. So if there's any issues, blame him. Just like
I told you that in confidence.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So where can everybody find you, 3-bit?
Everyone can find me on the Blue Sky. Like Fuzzy said, he'll be out this week, so we'll see if we do have a Sunday show. If not, we'll make up for it. We usually do if one of us is out. So just look out for announcements of Pixelated Echoes next episode. I might do a stream with Stalker. Yeah, I might have to do one for Stalker. So I hope you guys liked all the nominations, by the way. It was good stuff. It was very hard to think about. I think Shadow of the Erd Tree, that was my decision, actually. I was like, that should be there. Needed to be. So hope you guys like that. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of the FSP.
You know that's gonna get clipped.
Probably.
People will take that section.
Fun show, guys. And we got more content coming this week. PM in the PM is on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We got Friday night Xbox Ultimate podcast. Wait, did I say 9 PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Xbox Ultimate 9 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. And we'll also be doing some game streams. Look out for some Flight Sim, look out for some Stalker 2, and more coming your way here on the Fun Speculation Network. Peace out, everybody. Hope you have a good one. Thank you.
Bye. Later.
Later, guys.